What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from AlexCFE, and today we're back again with another video. So I haven't been making content in a long time. I've kind of taken a break from the game in general. My son was born, just took up a whole lot of time. I switched not careers, but I got a new job, another advancement and whatnot kind of in my career. So a lot of things on the plate, but at the same time, I feel like this kind of gives me a unique perspective as a returning player who is definitely in franchise. You know, with my channel, obviously my collection's just insane at this point. It's unmanageable, but I haven't really been playing for the past year. So I am kind of a returning, and it's kind of been a little bit of a slow journey getting back, but I've started cooking, started doing things, deck profiles, things of that nature. Maybe even some test games are going to be kind of put on the channel at some point, but definitely want to make sure I'm testing before I'm putting things out. That's just kind of how I've always been. There might be a couple discussion videos until that point, but until I really feel like I'm back in the real groove of it, I might just pause a little bit. That being said, I want to discuss the health of the game, state of the game, where it's at in my head, just some of my personal thoughts regarding it. I want to say that this video, you know, there might be some criticisms here. I don't want to be overly negative about anything. That's just not how I want to approach this, because this is a fun thing for me to come back kind of to the game. On top of that, there's going to be some positive stuff. Like, to me, this TCG is the best one. There is no other game that can do it for me like this game does. I love the mechanics. I love just the overall feel of the game. I love the community. I think that I've had so much fun watching other people's videos in this time period. People have really inspired me to kind of come back, and there's been so many great channels in the past year or two that kind of popped up. I'm just like, you know, I'm always locked in, even if I'm not playing. I'm like watching their content and whatnot, so I might shout some people out throughout the video. But aside from that, I saw Baconator, I think his name is Baconator, or Mr. Bacon, something like that, I'm sorry. But I saw his video and it really kind of got the gears turning. I wanted to make something like that for quite a while, but you know what, I just saw it and was like, you know what, let me make my own version of it. Basically, there are a lot of criticisms right now I feel like you can bring about the game. On top of that, I think that the fact that they've killed premium, let's start there. Just as an franchise player, them killing off premium, making it a format that no longer kind of exists in any kind of competitive mode. And you could say, oh no, they didn't actually kill it. There's still like rules, restrictions for it. Like, yeah, there's still restrictions for V. There's no V tournaments as a side event. They've taken, you know, premium away from BCSs, and they've also left premium in an awful state for the past like 2-3 years now. It might be my favorite format, might be like my favorite thing to kind of play, but at the same time, it just feels terrible because every deck you're just chasing a loop. A lot of loops still exist in the game. There's some quote-unquote secret ones. I won't say anything, but you know, they're just opportunities that should not be exploitable, that just are. So I think that Bushiroad as a company has to decide, all right, like we're gonna do something about premium, or we're just officially gonna kill it. Kind of like, I hate this like quiet, hey look, you know, we're just not gonna say there's any more events. Like, that totally turned me off as a player, and I really shut off for a while from this game. I just did not want to participate, did not want to play. Standard was only palatable for a while because premium was still around, and once I lost that, I just was like, why play standard? It's just such a bad kind of, it's Vanguard on training wheels. That's how I've always viewed it. That's how I still view it, but at the same time, it's the flavor I have. So until I'm done with it officially, I'm still gonna, I guess, play it over here. But you could argue all you want. It's just super disappointing that premium is not managed better. It doesn't have a product for it at all. The EN side should have just allowed, English should have just, you know, been a different kind of game altogether and just allowed us to kind of continue on our own path with it. But it is what it is. We needed like another Big Six kind of meta shakeup in the format, because I think there are a lot of plus factors to playing the format. And you as a new player, or a newer player who, once upon a time I started in V, at the very beginning of V, and I was like, I'll never play premium, so dumb, why not just play the main format? And I get that, I totally get that approach, especially for standard as you're playing it. But I encourage you just to try, maybe put together a deck or something, you know, maybe it's a cheaper budget deck, maybe it's something that, you know, you're passionate about, a certain archetype, it has something parallel in premium. Just try it out. You might be pleasantly surprised. But at the same time, I do want to talk about standard, how standard really feels like, even though things are pushed, even though mechanics keep on coming out, it still feels a little bit all over the place in a couple different ways. So of course, you know, recently we've gotten some of the, what was it, this product over here, the Paralytic Clash, brought the moon mechanic and the phantom units to English. I like the phantom units because you're working towards something. You really are building up towards your kill turn. You know, some of the phantom units like Zorga, you want a moon every turn. Other times, like Alphard, which I recently built, you know, you're waiting for that kill turn, you're kind of getting to that and trying to close out the game. And there's interesting ways to kind of do it. So I like that, but at the same time, it still just feels like, oh, go first, do your thing, kind of have the same repeatable turn. What can I do to maximize? It's not so much about, is your deck doing a good thing? It's, is your deck maximizing the flow of Vanguard itself, in that, can I optimize on triggers? Can I do this? Can I, like, you're not so much trying to reach a goal for your deck, you're trying to just stabilize and keep your deck doing the thing over and over, whether it's through Persona Ride, whether it's through, you know, spamming your rear guards, whether it's through just restanding your Vanguard. Like, it feels, every deck, they feel so similar. Maybe that's because, you know, they don't have markers. There's no more like GB limitation in a way. And you could say, yeah, things like Moon or Masks in a way, things of that nature, kind of like make you build towards that. Even Stride decks with, you know, just you want to be later into the game, but it just feels so vanilla in a way. And it's unfortunate because I think they're really cool units. But at the same time, you know, this is like what, the 20th relaunch of Overlord and Blaster Blade. On top of that too, like, I know you can use Scarlet Flame, which we're gonna get into that. That's a whole other discussion. But, you know, when you go to like locals or wherever, you kind of see people playing. It's like, people want to play these decks. People are playing these decks, and it becomes like, yeah, the go first, go Persona Ride, do your blase grade 3 ride up turn, you know, try to pressure your opponent, all of a sudden get into your successful Persona Ride turn, and then I'm doing the same thing over and over. I'm recycling personas. I have unlimited personas. It's just, it feels a little weird, and it's unfortunate because there are a lot of super cool units. I feel like game design wise, yeah, that's what's going on, but I don't like the nation system at all. But I do appreciate that they keep on updating some of the older archetypes, and that's really led me to kind of build some older decks and really try to just maximize them, see what we can do against the current meta, even though they might not be meta decks themselves. But, you know, I know Flagberg's looking at me right now like, what'd you say, man? But aside from that, I feel like a lot of things do get support. There's interesting card design. I like too how they're kind of coming out with a lot of the anime units. Wordle getting some support over here. I know the queen, the dragon over here, I forgot the name of it, and whatnot. Like, those are getting their time in the sun. Obviously Virgilla also did, so it's not just like Overdress or whatever, Divine Z series, things of that nature. Let's talk a little bit more about these products, and this might be its own video in and of itself, but honestly I feel like I have to kind of talk about them if I'm talking about standard. They're running all over the place in terms of just, hey, look, they're a really good product, just pick up, play, add a couple cards and you're good to go. The problem is they're start decks, so to me that's a product marketed towards either newer players or players who want to get into, you know, a clan, things of that nature, like the archetype, maybe it's my first time with, like, you know, the OG Vanguard characters, like, let me get into Kai, let me get into Aichi. You pick them up and then boom, you're slapped with like an extra like $400 to $500 bill just to try to pick up the pieces for this deck. You know, you use the 4 grade 2 dinos, guess what, that's another like $300, almost $85 a copy, something like that. So $350. Scarlet Flame's another $80 per copy. You know that people are doing it. Like, if you've read the manga, they're literally using Scarlet Flames in the manga for this deck, the promo order, which is an $80 promo right now. It is a promo that has only been fringe printed in manga, and you're getting introductory starter product, and you know you basically need it for this deck. Like, you can have it without, but it's just not going to do as much. You're not going to be pushed enough. Like, this deck in and of itself is not worth doing it. Kind of without that, I do want to put together a budget list just and try it out a little bit, but at the same time, yeah, it's just so much better. And then the printings of Saragon in here, the one of, I mean, this card has not been properly printed. That Shenri, any of these kind of generic cards that are just so pushed have been kind of fake printed over and over. Like, there's multiple printings of it, but they're always so bad. There's such limited runs of it. If you're going to come out with a product like this that has it in it and it's a one of, guess what, you just artificially drove the copies of this deck, and we see it like way through the sky. Like, these are over $50 a pop. Like, this is insane as a starter product. Like, you're not doing anybody any favors. So, you know, Twin Cast being in there too, same kind of thing. You can argue that, you know, it is a good thing to include it, and I think it is, but maybe the way that they've just printed it and then included it, you're just doing the players who pick this up a disservice, so to speak. And you could say it's always been like that. You know, starter products or entry decks or whatever decks are meant to be upgraded with the mainline stuff. I'm not arguing against that. Absolutely, you should be. But the deck building capacity out of this leaves no player choice. There's such an optimized kind of way, I feel like, to play. I tried the Kai deck with a bunch of funky techs in it and stuff like that. I just defaulted back to a very vanilla build. Same with this over here. You need orders that are $80 a copy. You need promo grade 2. You need your Saragons in here. There's like just such a heavy investment to get into these decks. On top of that, like I said, just boring gameplay too. So I think out of this set there were some really good cards and things like that, but this is not a set discussion. This is kind of just where Vanguard is, and that is my microcosm for the design of this game and how it has been. So I think there's interesting stuff. I think a lot of it is overshadowed. I think that they just need to reprint some of their really key kind of necessary either triple rares, cycler cards, things like that, things that feel like an upgrade, an update to the game rather than include in your deck. Cyclers, that's update.deck. That's Shenri, things like Saragon. Those are just updates that kind of need to be included. They're not some genius, tech that you're putting into your deck. They're not archetype specific stuff that kind of do a cool thing on top of doing the generic thing, or kind of some kind of combo of it that feels like a mid-range power. They're just so pushed and they're so purposefully done in that way. So that is kind of my gripe with it right now. But I think standard in general, you have a lot of choices actually which you can play. Looking at this page right here, like I like Magnolia Phantom, I like Alphard personally, Zorga. Actually, I know somebody who's playing it. It's really actually a decent deck. I don't even know how to pronounce this one over here, the fake rural one. This is Berukria, something like that. I forgot the name of it. That's really good. But they do come out with new stuff that are decent. I think that in general, if they got together the printing, if they maybe stop with some of the gimmick mechanics, they need to like level set and really like reset some of the power levels, because you just go first, you do your thing over and over, and it's kind of, it's die roll dot game with some of these newer decks. So unfortunate, but I still have fun playing this game after all that. I don't know what else to really say. I think that there are not crazy interesting deck building choices as I'm kind of coming back, which is kind of disappointing. They've banned out some of the hostage package stuff and just defensive options, cheap defensive options for decks, and it just feels a little weird. But that's kind of where I'm standing at right now. I think I'm just starting with like my real passion in Dragon Empire. I've built Alpha, I built Gigarex, Sybilt I've been updating, Kohi Blaze I've kind of put together, so maybe I'll start to bring those to the channel. Let me know what you want to see down below. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Am I completely wrong about something? Am I talking about, out of my what about the state of the game, out of the products and whatnot? So I know it's been a little bit of a tired topic, but it's my little foray into the game, so to speak, and I'm really excited to kind of document as I come back and kind of update you guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Alex from Alex CFE signing out.